It's update Monday. In case you didn't know about what's happening in the Caliverse, King Cali has won the South American Championship with Outlich, putting him in sole possession of the Holy Grail. Of course, that made his competitors in Cali de Don piloting Flunderies, as well as Theater Cali and Despia completely livid. The only thing they can do to take back the Holy Grail is to win the North American National Championship next weekend, but it's looking bleak. The meta may have seemed to be solved, but I challenge regular Cali to figure out some other strategies that are top meta. And he's done it! Now those fools will bow down to me when I crush the opposition and I hold the chalice! Oh, and it's Update Monday. As you guys know, I'm always here to bring you premium content and the information you need to be able to compete at a Yu-Gi-Oh card game. If I were to talk about the top 5 meta decks this format, I literally just upload last month's video. Punk Therion, Sword Soul, Despia, Outlich, Flunderies, Drytron. Show's over, guys. That's it. No more. We're done here. But I actually wanted to take it a step further and tell you about some strategies that are legitimate top decks. These decks have consistently topped not only throughout the course of the format, but also have some amazing accolades under their belt. So allow me to go ahead and talk to you about these strategies that are legitimately top meta decks. If you are a player on the cheap, then you need to watch out because this strategy is not only a $100 budget meta deck, it has done really well throughout the format. Ignisters are easily considered one of the better decks inside of Yu-Gi-Oh! With multiple regional and of course YCS tops. This deck even has a national championship top. Ignister is so powerful because being able to summon the Arrival Cyberse at Ignister not only is an unaffected monster by your opponent's card effects, it's typically at the very least 3,000 attack. That's a threshold that not a lot of strategies can easily get over. But even if they do somehow manage to be able to get over this at Arrival, this isn't the only trick up the strategy sleeve. Being able to use hand traps to its leisure, especially since it can draw so many times through Decode Talker Heat Soul, and then being able to make the strongest Axis Code Talker monster that you've ever seen in your life, you can legitimately make this monster 8,000 attack, but I don't think any of us are that dangerous yet. Ignister is easily a ridiculously competitive budget deck, even online, holding a 57% win percentage over online games. Now, of course, the best thing about Ignister is if you want to see a deck profile, I actually just so happen to have one on my channel that I uploaded a couple of days ago. Go ahead and check that out. And for the people that want to see deck profiles on some of these other strategies, be sure to join my Patreon as I'll be putting those up as a special thanks for helping me pay my editors. The next strategy that players are just not playing for some reason. I mean, this strategy is insane. I don't see why players are not playing Predaplants. Now, Predaplants actually did get support in Dimension Force that made it amazing. Predaplant both binoculars. Predaplant Follicula not only serves as a fusion card because it is a pendulum monster when you place it inside of the scale, it actually is a monster that you can search easily from your deck to your hand, giving the strategy the much needed consistency to be able to fusion someone on the drop of a dime. Then there's Predaplant Ambulance. Predaplant Ambule is not only an instant fusion target, meaning you can summon it straight from your extra deck. It allows you to add a Preda spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and then it can special summon a plant monster by tributing himself. Immediately what comes to mind is Predaplant Okay, we gotta stop doing this. I can't enunciate, y'all can't count. I actually gave you top 6 decks at the beginning of the video, so that's your fault. Using it for shorthand, Predaplant Cali allows you to fusion summon with monsters on your side of the field or monsters with a Preda counter. And this deck is all centered around placing Preda counters on your opponent's monsters. So with this deck, you get walking polymerizations and super polymerizations inside of your deck. And you also get to search any fusion card from your deck to your hand through cards like Predaplant, Darlington, Cobra. You can still play Destiny Hero, Phoenix Enforcer, and the branded engine in this deck. On top of that, Predaplant actually did top the German National Championship. So this is actually a strategy that is really good and has had tons of success when the right players play it. Now, ABC isn't necessarily a good deck by itself. Its win percentage online is a measly 39%. But fortunately, that's only when you're playing the pure route. When you decide to mix the Therion engine as well as the Brave engine inside of ABC, your win percentage actually shoots up ridiculously high. A 58% win percentage is a lot better, a lot more respectable, and just in case you kind of doubted it there, this deck actually did top the South American Championship, so there you have it. And what ABC really succeeds at is what a lot of strategies tend to struggle with, being able to be multi-dimensional inside of the extra deck and also being able to link summon. ABC, when needed, can make the ever so powerful access code talker. And this may seem weird, but strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! May not or cannot play access code talker all of the time, so that's definitely a plus. But then dialing it back when you need to, this deck can fusion summon into ABC Dragon Buster without the uses of polymerization, being able to get materials to your side of the field on the opponent's turn and also disrupt the opponent by banishing cards, which can contribute to more link summoning. The strategy can also exceed summon, saying that ABC parts are level 4, and then synchro summon because Torque Tune Gear is a tuner monster that can be easily tutored out to your side of the field for Hockley Fiber's combos. And seeing that the deck does play the Therion and the Brave engine, if you just so happen to artifact Scythe Lock it, well, it can still put up disruptions while not going through the extra deck. So this deck is a very, very well-rounded, well-balanced deck that is extremely powerful inside of the format. I genuinely think that if you're a player that likes balanced decks that can pretty much do it all, then ABC just might be the strategy for you. Now, you may not believe it, I know a lot of players have been giving this doubt, but Virtual World is actually a really powerful deck inside of this format. It actually has one of the highest win percentage going on right now in this entire list at 59%. Just for reference, some of the other decks that I've talked about in the very beginning of this video only have a 60% win rate. So yeah, it's right there. And the reason why is because Virtual World's flexibility, but of course there's always Virtual World QB Shinshin, which allows you to banish any card sent from the field to the graveyard. Now, the fact that it says any card is really perplexing, especially against a lot of strategies, as some strategies like Despia may not mind getting their monsters banished, but when it comes to spell and traps, oh no, we need those. And the fact that QB Shinshin is the snack that just keeps smiling back, allowing himself to special summon himself to the side of the field continuously, that is a complete threat to deal with. And just like ABC, this deck is bilingual, dog. Being able to synchro summon and exceed summon, dodging important cards like Dimensional Barrier is really important to be able to play inside of this format. This deck even taps into synchros and exceed cards that other strategies can't tap into. You remember when we talked about the Arrival Cybers at Ignister? Well, I mean, Geomathmech Final Sigma is almost the exact same thing. Then there's monsters like Ptolemy M7 that not only allow you to reuse hand traps that are really good against your opponent, it also can get rid of your opponent's cards and then make a Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Virtual World Chuche is a Zodiac Trident that has way less interaction. I know the fact that you can't attack into the Chuche means that it's almost a better Trident, and it allows you to shuffle in Virtual World cards that allow you to play forever. And then of course, on top of Virtual World's 59% win rate online, it actually did top the South American Championships, which supersede any national championship that we have going on right now. And lastly, I really hate to mention this strategy because, I mean, it's kind of degenerate, but it does have a high, very high win percentage, as Sky Strikers is going to fill that last void. Now, the reason why I don't say it, or I say not this deck, is because of Mystic Mine. I really didn't want to believe it, but Sky Striker has a ridiculous 60% win percentage online, which is the highest out of any of these decks that we talked about. And of course, it's not any other 6 strategies that I mentioned. Also, Sky Striker is no stranger to this format. You've seen how meta warping it has been. It won the very first YCS since coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! And has been topping consistently throughout the format. Now, what I'm not talking about is your opponent activating Mystic Mine and being able to link summon into Hade, attacking you directly. I'm not mad for you. I'm not mad. I just want to find a Sky Striker player and talk to him, that's all. But aside from that, Sky Striker actually does have some really powerful spell cards. Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon allows you to be able to banish cards inside of a format where banishing is really good, or can special summon the monster to your side of the field. Then of course, there's Sky Striker Riddle Anchor that can negate an opponent's monster and take control of it for you to be able to use. Ultimately, this is a deck that can make Access Code Talker fairly easily. It doesn't rely on the extra deck cards that Dimensional Barrier could stop. And against the Scythe Block, well, as long as you can stall out with Mystic Mine, then I guess you can win the game. God, this deck is so degenerate. Well, gosh golly, thank you, Cali, for going ahead and telling us about the top 5 decks this format, and then going ahead and explaining some other decks that have been topping alongside them. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, because of course, if you want to see more content, those fools, they don't know that there's a bevy of information if you check out these videos. Of course, there's also Master Duel, Cali. He gives you the Master Duel content you need, as we're streaming today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.